Hey, welcome everybody to another bourbon show. Tonight we are joined by a very special guest, good friend of mine. Stop and see him about once a week, really, to be honest with you. You hear about his store regularly on our show. So I'd like to give a huge round of applause to Ryan Dallape from Dean's Liquor in Collinsville, Illinois. He's joining us tonight. Ryan, really huge appreciation for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Listeners, you know that pretty much every single episode that we've gone through so far, chances are very high that I, like 95% at least, that I bought whatever we're drinking from either Ryan at Dean's or Bobby, one of Bobby's three shops. That's where I literally buy 95% of my stuff. And what's really nice about that, to me at least, are that like the places that I buy, like you guys have a pretty good relationship together too, right? Like you're not like the competitor, like you're in the same vicinity, but you don't really like compete with each other. There's a good relationship as far as I know, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. I mean, we're not fighting over business.
Yeah.
As everybody that's listening probably knows, the bourbon world is huge. People shop everywhere. It is what it is. And yeah, I mean, it's all about price and what you can get.
Yeah. And you know, like same thing with one of the things I like so much about the places that I shop is that, like, first of all, the prices are great, the selection is great. But more importantly, like everybody that works for you is so extraordinarily helpful and nice. And if you ask a question, they are quick to try to help you. And to me, that makes a huge difference.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's one of the things I like so much about your store. And it's just classically fucking cool. It's
yeah, I mean we're the oldest continuously run liquor store in the St. Louis area. Maybe the US. I mean, there's not really a lot of information on that as far as, you know, old liquor stores. We opened in 1939, been going ever since. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the classic wood floor, the tin ceiling, I'm sure lead-based paint that is
I'm sure. I would not doubt that a bit.
I can tell you, I've done extensive research right back here, and it is in fact the oldest in the U.S. I'm here to say
Is it
tonight.
really?
Yes, I can confirm.
All right.
this.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Very
Listeners,
nice.
prove us wrong. I dare you.
You don't know
Prove
what
us
this
wrong.
says. You know what this says.
So Ryan is joining us for a kind of a special episode. We are revisiting two bourbons that we've drank previously on the show, and we're doing them blind. I'm not gonna go into the details like I normally would, and nobody gives a shit about Steven's label ratings anyway. Ever since he fucked up the Mellow Corn.
Well, I've rated these, I believe. So
yeah, you did, but nobody cares about your ratings. Ever since you screwed that one over, we can't trust you anymore. So we're gonna
Mellow Corn squashing another rater out there. Big surprise.
We're drinking these two guys tonight. I think that this is going to be a really, really fun blind tasting for a couple reasons. Number one, same mash bill, 2 proof points difference. Here we've got Heaven Hill. Here we have Wild Turkey Distillery. This one was created specifically to compete with this one.
And the audio only crowd is loving this segment right now. This one and this one.
Like anybody listens to us, right? Like,
okay, all right.
We don't have a lot of viewers, and we've got fewer listeners. So
if they're not watching, they're not listening.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So, okay, Fighting Cock is a Heaven Hill bottle. Wild Turkey 101 is a Wild Turkey Distillery bottle. Fighting Cock 103 proof. Wild Turkey 101 101 proof. Fighting Cock created to specifically compete with Wild Turkey 101. Neither of them have an age statement, but they're rumored to be about the same age in the barrel for each one. So we're going to do them blind. And one of the other fun things, I think, is this was actually the very first episode. This was our very first episode that we ever recorded. This was Fighting Cock was our very first episode. Wild Turkey 101 was our 13th episode. If you want to check those out to hear Steven's horrible label ratings. Or it's also fun to listen to because out of the 28 episodes we've recorded or that have been released so far, when I drank Wild Turkey, the night we recorded Wild Turkey 101, that's the drunkest I've ever gotten while recording this show. And the second most drunk I've ever been while recording this show was Fighting Cock. So I figured.
I feel like you were drunker on the first one.
Do you?
But we stayed on Zoom for like 2 hours after and got
and I started talking about you.
Lesson of being.
Yeah, Ukrainian history.
Yeah.
I'm that guy when I get drunk sometimes. So Ryan Dallape, I know you carry Wild Turkey 101.
Yeah.
Do you carry Fighting Cock yet?
I do not.
Okay.
And you've said I should, and I have not picked it up. Mainly because I don't have the space to pick up yet another bottle. Really.
Yeah. No, I can't blame you. And we've talked about it whenever I was in your shop before, and I mentioned that, I mean, as much as I love Fighting Cock, and I think other people would love it if more people tried it, initially you're gonna have to sell it to people. They're not gonna just naturally grab it, I don't think.
It's definitely a hand sell kind of item, I think.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it could be the best bottle in the world. It's an old label. It doesn't have an appealing label to today's standards, I don't think. It would just be a hard hand sell kind of item.
Yeah.
And how would you describe Mellow Corn, by the way? No reason in particular.
So I love the Mellow Corn label. I really do. It stands out. It's great. It's one of my favorites.
It's one of the best.
Thank you.
It is so good.
I drank 3/4 of that bottle the night we did that episode.
And Ryan, that was the first time that Name Off had ever had Mellow Corn, was that episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
I would say I drink it fairly regularly for the price. I mean, $16 bottle. It's great.
Yep. True story.
Sorry, Steven.
Hey, I mean, I like the whiskey. To be clear, I like the whiskey. It's just the label to me is clearly ugly, and anybody who says otherwise, I question their judgment.
It's not.
Just from this show, you are heavily in the minority.
That's
Listeners,
fine.
viewers, tell
Dan,
Steven how fucking wrong he is.
Dan, you said yourself before that sometimes the majority is pretty stupid.
Well, the majority
I'm
of
pretty
people are
comfortable.
stupid. That's fact.
I'm comfortable in the minority.
Okay, why don't we get started drinking? We have one labeled A, one labeled B. Nobody here knows which one is which yet. I put A into a nice Dean's Liquor Glencairn, and I've got B in my standard Glencairn, Bourbon Trail Glencairn. So
I
let's start.
I just wish I had one of those Dean's Glencairn glasses. Neither one of these are Dean's glasses. I feel like I need to talk to somebody about that.
You probably should. So let's give A a try. Nose it and all that highfalutin shit.
On the nose, I really can't tell one way or another.
I know. It's hard.
So one thing that I'm wondering here is, so A has a slight, they both have a great smell to me. They both smell phenomenal. A has a slightly, like a little bit more of an ethanol smell to me, but I'm wondering if it's the shape of the openings of the glass. The Dean's has like that narrow opening that is really great, but I'm wondering if that channels more of that alcohol smell into my nose or not.
I actually get that more on B, to be honest.
Oh, do
A
you?
little more ethanol on B, and I think A has a little more slight baking spice to it, which makes me think turkey product.
So in B, I get more sweetness on the nose, as in comparison to A.
Yeah.
I am getting that kind of ethanol vapor.
Yeah, so am I.
Not significantly more, right? But like just a little bit more of a burn in my nose when I'm nosing it.
Yeah.
Just enough to be noticeable. But I do
B
think
seems a little.
Oh.
B seems a little lighter
yeah.
on the nose.
Which one's got the better nose, A or B?
I would say B.
Same.
Yeah, I like B as well.
Yeah,
Steven?
I think I go with B as well.
B, okay. All right, so I'm gonna give A a little nip. That's spicy.
Yeah, I'm getting those baking spices.
Yep. Getting baking spices, some heat, caramel on the backside.
Oh yeah.
I tasted a lot of things other than caramel, name off. For listeners and for Ryan Dallape, name off always goes with caramel. That's all he ever tastes.
We had like
Yeah,
4 straight
yeah.
bourbons that were very caramely. To my credit, though.
So not only
Did
do
we not?
Steven and I consistently make fun of name off, but our listeners also consistently make fun
Yeah.
of name
All
off.
right.
All 4 of them.
Yep.
So anytime somebody comes into the store and we taste something out, anytime they say, "I taste caramel, vanilla, oak," I'm already like, all right, this guy has no clue what he's talking about. Those are like the telltale signs that every whiskey is gonna have.
Yep. But they're never wrong.
No, you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna try B. Well, it's a lot sweeter. I don't get that ethanol like I did in the first one.
See, I find A sweeter. I find A a little bit sweeter, and like B, I'm getting more of like this isn't the right, but it's like almost like a mossy. I don't know what the right word is here. Caramel, vanilla, and oak. That's what I'm getting.
Perfect.
Nailed it.
No, but
I'd say this podcast is over. I mean, you got it. It's easy.
Killed it. Knocked that one out of the park.
That's right. Yep. Why continue? End on perfection.
I'm gonna say that I like B better, I think, and I'm gonna say that that's what the Wild Turkey 101 is.
Who gives a shit, Steven? We're not getting to that. The point is not to figure out which one is which. You son of a bitch!
So
I
can't
said
even
that.
Say it at all.
Just
We'll
figure out
agree.
which one you like better.
I said
I
the one
do
I
like
like
B
better
better.
first, and it's also not only is it the one I like better, but it's also the one I expected to like better if it is Wild Turkey 101, which I think is interesting to point out. Because in the first time we did a blind tasting, I totally expected that I would like the, what did we drink for the first time?
Weller?
Blind tasting?
No,
Oh, it was Weller.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I fully expected to like the Weller more than the Maker's 46. And then I ended up being wrong. And I thought that made for a good twist. Because I was, since then, I'll be honest, I have not touched my Weller. And I've only drank Maker's 46 whenever it was between the two. So,
You seem to be wrong a lot, dude. First Mellow Corn, then Weller.
well, I don't think
What
I'm
else?
wrong about the Mellow Corn. The label. I like Mellow Corn, the whiskey.
Well, do we want to?
I will agree with Steven. I think B is quite a bit better actually than A. Not knowing what it is yet, but I do like B. I would gravitate towards B many times over A.
Same.
Yeah,
I gotta say the same exact thing. I now feel like A would give me heartburn. Like I think I mentioned that on the small batch select that Four Roses.
Four Roses.
Four Roses gives me heartburn. I feel like A
Gives me the shits.
What doesn't give you the shits, right? Water gives you the shits.
I just wanted to rip it because I really did not like that bottle.
Which bottle was it that you didn't like?
The Four Roses single barrel select, right?
Small batch select.
Oh,
small batch select.
Small batch select. Yeah. Yeah. I like the regular small batch way better than the select.
Do you?
Personally. Yeah. And I've retried it time and time again, side by side, and I always go back to the regular.
Yeah. You know, you're getting to something that I want to actually talk about, but before we do that, should we go ahead and reveal which one is which?
Ryan, so is everybody on the same page? Do we all like B better?
Yeah, I think it's a wild turkey too, Steven.
Yeah.
I didn't look until now, but I'll look now.
Dramatic
I kind of
reveal.
hope it's fighting. I kind of hope the B is fighting cock because it's probably cheaper. So
Nope. A is fighting cock. B is wild turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. I kind of suspected that as well. Yeah, I do significantly like the Wild Turkey 101 better.
I was fooled by the nose though. It could have gone either way on the nose. I thought I was picking up baking spices on A. So I totally like you said, Dan, they're good, both really good on the nose. And I don't have as strong of a reaction to A on the palate as you did. You're saying it's going to give you heartburn. I think it's decent. And I think it's close enough that again, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So I'll say that much, but all across the board, we all preferred B.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in no way am I offended by A. I mean, if somebody poured it and I didn't know what it was, I would definitely drink it. I think it's a good pour. And now that I know what it is for the money, I think it's solid. But overall, B would be if I had my choice, if I came to your house and you offered me both, I would probably take B.
And it's not like we're talking about, a $20 bottle and a $60 bottle or something either, because it's not the margin, because they're about the same price. You're like, I'll take B every time,
Right. Yeah. I do want to say one thing though. Drinking them neat, yes, I prefer B Wild Turkey 101. I do think that in a mixed drink, a cocktail, I would probably prefer Fighting Cock over the Wild Turkey though. To me, the Fighting Cock has more spice to it. It certainly has, 2 points in proof. That's 1% alcohol difference. But I do get more spice in heat from the Fighting Cock than I do the Wild Turkey. So I'd probably lean towards the Fighting Cock if I was going to make specifically a Manhattan. I don't know about a old fashioned or any of the other whiskey drinks, but certainly for a Manhattan, I would prefer the Fighting Cock. So there you have it. Wild Turkey heads up against Fighting Cock. Wild Turkey takes it. But
4-0.
What's that?
I thought there'd be one person at least who preferred one over the other, but guess not.
Nope.
That's a good bottle. That's only the second time I've had it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it a lot.
It's solid.
I'll definitely drink that more often.
So Ryan, what you were mentioning earlier a second ago about Four Roses is one of the big reasons why we wanted to have you on the show, actually. And Four Roses is an excellent segue for it. And I'll get to that in a second. So not long ago in the St. Louis area, there was a rumor floating around that Knob Creek was going to become allocated. I don't know if it was the Knob Creek 9, 12, 15, or one of their other 15 variations of Knob Creek. All of them are really good. But it got me thinking that not everybody understands what allocated really means. And I thought it would be neat to have Name Off describe what allocated means from a distributor's perspective, what allocated means to you as a store owner, and then what it means to Steven and I as a customer. And one of the big reasons I say that is because Four Roses Single Barrel has been allocated in the St. Louis area for like 8 months now. And it has not inhibited my ability to walk into a store and grab a bottle off the shelf even a little bit. So first of all, is Knob Creek one of the age statement? Are any of them be going allocated?
Just to me or other
I
items?
don't sell it, so I can't say firsthand.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. So
We
Name
got a
Off doesn't
classic
know.
Two Ryan situation going on.
Yeah, that's why I've been trying to call
Yeah.
Name Off
Yeah.
instead of Ryan. So Ryan Dallape, is Knob Creek allocated or going allocated?
So I actually talked to my rep this morning. He has no knowledge of allocation, other than it's going to be a little bit harder to do barrel picks of Knob Creek.
Okay.
So as far as all the other knob items, the only one that I am having problems getting would be it's one of the ryes that they came out with a few years ago, the barrel proof rye. That's the only one that I'm having issues getting in stock. Everything else is good to go. And talking to my rep this morning, I mean, he hasn't heard anything yet as far as hard to get stuff. But
Okay. So nothing's really going to become hard to get except for a barrel pick.
as far as my knowledge and, going down the line to my rep, he has not heard anything about it.
Okay. Well, that's good news because Knob Creek is a phenomenal drink.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's go. Let's start with as high up in the distribution ladder as we can get on our show, and let's go with Name Off. When something is allocated, what does that mean to you as a representative of a distributor?
Chain wise, because I can't speak as much to independent liquor store side. So when I see a Blanton's and Eagle Rare, actually Woodford Double Oaked right now is a little bit allocated because their stock issue is pretty low. So there is a stock issue, meaning the supplier might not have enough, just based on the juice that they've made. But in terms of like Blanton's and everything like that, what my stores do, based on Sazerac products they've taken, or if you look across the board in each set, so Sazerac, you might see Platinum Vodka, a bunch of bottom shelf vodkas. Depending on what that chain does and how much business they throw to Sazerac, you'll start to see those stores getting more of the allocated items. And stores who don't play ball, chains who don't play ball, just won't get Blanton's. So now Blanton's, they make a good amount of bourbon, but they have to disperse it in a way that every chain gets a set amount every month. And depending on the business, they might see a spike every year, but usually it's more our end trying to be fair to all markets and stores involved, and basically splitting up the amount of cases per account or store or chain, highest to low level. So it's a lot of it though is just that I've seen lately. It's stores not playing ball with Sazerac and they're not getting Blanton anymore, and it could be things of that nature too. So
if I'm understanding it correctly, allocated to a rep from a distributor basically means that Dean's Liquor Store, Ryan Dallape, can't just call you and say, I want 5 cases of Blanton's.
Yeah, based on a monthly allocation of what he gets, which might be 6 bottles or 12 bottles. Yeah, it just doesn't work like that.
So, okay, so let's hear from Ryan then, because I think I could twist it one other way, but I want to hear from Ryan first, though.
Okay, so he's dead on. So when it comes to Sazerac, I mean, just stick with Sazerac for now.
Yeah.
So we have to play the games like everybody else, and it all depends on how much Fireball are you buying, how much Wheatley vodka are you buying,
99 schnapps.
and it's yeah, I mean it's 100%, and I think we get a decent allocation for being a fairly small store, but I also play the games with it, so I sell Wheatley vodka 50 mils at cost, if not a penny or two below cost, because it goes by how many cases you buy, not so much how the quantity wise, a 750, a 175. So if I can get my quote unquote lower end consumer to buy a decent vodka, Wheatley vodka, at 99 cents or two for $1.59, I'm running through cases just nonstop. And my distributor is seeing case quantity, which helps with my allocation quantity that I would get in the end.
Okay.
Yeah. So for our viewers don't know, like with Sazerac in general, they play this game. It's called the Sazerac Perfect Store, Fireball Perfect Store. You have to, in your store, if you want these allocated products that Ryan gets, he says he plays ball, you're going to see Fireball 50 mLs, going up the ladder up until 175s, and then even above that, which you probably have party buckets and all that stuff too, I imagine. So with Sazerac, if you don't play ball and carry all these different sizes, you're going to see a lower allocation to what you're getting. And if you don't do that, they just won't open up the cases for you.
Yeah, I mean they bump you down on the list.
So is that
and it's
Sazerac
been
that
like
does
that for a while.
Is that Sazerac that bumps you down the list, or is it the distributor? Because my understanding was that the distillery doesn't control it. Like once one of their trucks leaves, if we're talking about Buffalo Trace and Sazerac, once their truck leaves Frankfort, Kentucky and gets to Illinois, after that, it's completely out of Buffalo Trace and Sazerac's hands, right?
Well, in regards to this, you kind of see the supplier and distributor working hand in hand. The supplier will go in and see if all variants have been met, and then communicate with the distributor and vice versa. And then they'll throw, they might throw the extra bone to that store that goes the extra mile. But suppliers definitely have a hand in how, they can't say how much product you get, but they'll talk to our higher ups and be like, hey, this store is doing everything for us for Sazerac. Is there any way maybe we can hook them up next year when the allocated products go out? So they can't tell you what to send out, but they definitely have a hand in getting in the ear of management for sure.
Okay.
So Ryan, so from my standpoint, and you're no distributor of mine, anything like that. So is it with Sazerac allocated items and your Fireballs, your Wheatleys, is it just those items that they're looking at, or is it portfolio wide?
There's definitely portfolio wide. The new big one is 99 Party Schnapps, which is Dan, I think Bobby has an offshoot of them. I think they're called like 101 well, he has some other brand too, but what I've seen in the last year is 99 Party Schnapps, which is the big thing. So you'll see the cooler clings of Fireball. Now you're going to see 99 Schnapps too. So that's something you'll probably end up hearing this year, I imagine. At least, I know it's a different distributor down there, so I can't say for sure, but
sure,
they have 99 Schnapp party buckets coming. They got the whole deal.
It is funny to me that it's generally your low end items that are producing your good items in the end. Your 99 or 101 shots are cheap. They're essentially kind of junk items that your upper class people that are looking for Blantons are not going to buy, but yet that's what you have to purchase in order to get these high end items.
There's no company like Sazerac, because they literally have the best bourbons in the market, and then they also have floor cleaning vodka.
Absolutely.
Where's the skull? I'll pour some down, or any private label you usually see, like at Kroger or something. That's a Sazerac item that you've never seen before. But
when you see companies like Brown Forman, where, you got to get Woodford in the store, Jack Single Barrels, like Finlandia vodka, then you might get some birthday bourbon, but they don't have like Jack Daniel's 99 party schnapps that they're throwing at you, because Sazerac bought all the bottom shelf stuff. So
That's true.
So what do you have to? I don't think Ryan Nameoff doesn't distribute this, so this is mostly for Dallape here. What do you have to do for Michter's allocations?
Good question. I don't carry really. I think I have one Michter's in the store,
Yeah.
so I do not get any allocations of the hard to find Michter's.
Okay.
And the issue is nobody wants the regular Michter's. All
Shit,
they
I
want
do.
is the 10 and 20 years. And I don't know. Well, you're the anomaly because
I'm a huge Michter's fanboy.
Nobody ever comes in and says, "Do you have any just Michter's bourbon?"
Yeah.
The question is, do you have any 10-year? Do you have any 20-year? So I unfortunately do not really get any Michter's hard to find allocated bottles.
Yeah.
does that make you at all kind of standoffish towards your rep with other products they might have in your store in the set? Well, like, I'm not getting this Michter's, I'm going to take off some other bourbon out of
No. So I've kind of been in the liquor game my whole life, mainly probably 12 years. But I mean, my dad had 5 liquor stores when I was a baby, so I've kind of been around it my whole life. I get how the games have worked over the years. I kind of see how the play-by-play goes when it comes to getting these items, and I go into it knowing that if you don't sell it, you're not going to get it. I mean, if you don't sell the regular stuff, your hard to find stuff is not going to happen. So
it's hard too from a rep standpoint, where it's like, I don't know how the allocations are going to play out. That's way above my pay grade, So, like I said, I'll get shit from a lot of people. It's like, I'm just the rep. Like, I'm not buying it and having it delivered here,
Yeah, and I get that. I mean, unfortunately, you're in the position where you're the next step. You're the guy that's going to get all the slack, but yeah.
How many calls a day do you get about Blanton's?
I don't know, 20, 30 usually on average. I need to just like set up a phone system where it says, "Hello, thank you for calling Dean's. We do not have any Blantons. We do not have any of this." I mean, that's probably, in all honesty, allocated items are probably 80% of the phone calls we get on average.
Okay, so Ryan Dallape, you've got a Weller Foolproof barrel coming out. That's how, and you did it in a fun way this time. But next time, what you need to do is whoever buys the most Fireball and 99 schnapps, that's how you rank who gets it.
Yeah, I well, that would be great, but I don't know that I would ever sell a bottle of Weller Foolproof then, because those people are not looking for that.
No. So this barrel was supposed to get in what, December?
Yeah, December.
Why don't you tell the listeners how you ran the it's not even a contest, but how you determined.
It really wasn't.
Hey, before you do, I just had a good idea. I was just gonna say, it would be funny to have like a little segment where you just recorded yourself trying to give a bottle of Blanton's away to somebody who actually bought all the stuff that allowed you to get that Blanton's.
I don't think it would ever happen.
The meth head that comes in to buy the 99 schnapps. Hey, I'll sell you this bottle of Blanton's for $10. Get that on video. Do you know how, like, St. Louis Bourbon Society, Rusty Water Society, all of these people, every person member with their heads would explode simultaneously. So tell us how you determined who would have access. I thought it was really
cool. So with this last barrel, I've done it a few different ways. I've done, you sign up in store multiple times, and there's been a few different ways that I've tried to do it. This time I wanted to give everybody a chance. Now, granted, how I did it, your chances were very low in general. But essentially I blasted it out on the Dean's Facebook page, as well as some local groups, that we were getting this barrel, and between 7 and 7:30, I'm going to put out this post, and at that point you will, send me a direct message on the Dean's Facebook page with your name and phone number. That's all you needed to do. That's it. So my wife and I were actually out to eat, and it was 7:14 when I ended up posting this post, and immediately I got 2,230 something messages within like 14 seconds. So, and granted, I'm probably getting 150 to 180 bottles out of this barrel on average. So the barrel was gone instantly. Like I said, probably 14 seconds in. And many people think that they got on the list, and I think they're going to be sadly disappointed once this barrel shows up. Everybody thinks that they got in like right at that second. But when you have 2,000 coming in, your odds are fairly low. So yeah, I mean, it was, I think in my opinion, at least at the time, it was the fairest way to do it, because I did put it out to everybody. It wasn't, Dan comes in every week, he's a great guy, but I think he deserves a bottle, which he does. I mean, he does deserve a bottle, but this was the most fair way I could do it for just your average guy. And bottles are going to be regular retail, like $52, something like that, whatever it comes in at. So
which is
whether
which is unheard of.
Way to do it.
That is unheard of. $52 for Weller Foolproof is unheard. Like, and that's the reason why I loved the way you ran it so well, because like there are places that are selling just standard Weller Foolproof, not even a barrel pick, for $350 for a bottle. And I think Ryan and I are pretty close, but listeners, I don't even know if I made the cut yet or not. I've never asked Ryan, and I'm not going to ask him now. I will find out when it comes in. Was I fast enough or not? I don't know.
So that's what made this way of doing it super easy for me, because I just go through my messages that came in, and I take the first, X amount of numbers that I have, depending on how many bottles I end up getting. And that's the list. So it's there. The list is made. So don't reach out to me, because it'll be a shit show. 2,000 people reaching out to me to find out. But
leave a comment.
Is there like
and
you got like
subscribe
2
to our
days?
YouTube channel?
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. But yeah, in due time. So
we've talked about a bunch of high value stuff. What are your 5 favorite bourbons under like $30? Not bourbons. Let's say whiskeys.
All right. So I we've mentioned Mellow Corn a few times tonight.
Yeah.
I would say Mellow Corn's one. It's just great. Because of the label. Sorry, Steve.
Damn.
No, it is legitimately good. High corn content. It's definitely different, not being a bourbon.
Yeah.
But it's great. Another one is Old Fitzgerald. Just a regular. I love this stuff. What else do I have over here? Very Old Barton.
Oh yeah. Great stuff.
Yeah. So used to be bottled and bond, now it's crafted, but still great.
Which proof is that one? Because it comes in 80, 90, and 100?
Yeah. So this is the 100 proof.
Okay.
That I have here. What'd you say? Under 25 or under 30? What'd you say?
Under 30, but you can go under 25 if you want. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I was gonna say regular Elijah Craig.
Yeah.
Just regular small batch. Fantastic for like right at $30.
Dan gave me a bottle of the toasted barrel, and I drank it in 3 days, the whole bottle.
Yeah. And probably my last one, which could go on many different lists, would be regular Buffalo Trace. Right under $30. I don't know what the crazy allure of it is, as far as I don't know. It's hard to get, as I'm sure most people realize, but I'm not sure why. I mean,
Yep.
it's definitely, it's great, but it's great at that $30 price point.
Yep. So what are some bourbons that sell really well that you just don't understand why? That you're just like, God, why do I sell so much of this? That's shit, and people should realize that it's shit, or it's overpriced, or whatever, or not worth, not necessarily shit, but it's not worth the price.
Yeah, pretty much anything Dickel.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Dickel fan. Like Barrel, for example, a lot of their stuff is kind of $80 kind of region, and not everything they do is Dickel. And I've had, many different releases that they do, and anytime I get one that has Dickel distillate in it, I just kind of shake my head. And some people love it. I've got a couple buddies that they swear by Dickel. They love it. But I usually find the ones that are excluding Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other ones. I mean, the Dickel Bottle and Bond. I mean, I hate to go back to Dickel, but it's so easy to hate them, I feel. But yeah, Dickel,
I don't agree
Dickel
with
Bottle
any
and
of
Bond. Dickel Bottle
Gee,
and
I wonder
Bond
why.
yeah, Dickel Bottle and Bond, as I'm sure you guys know, and maybe some of your followers, it was a harder to find kind of allocated bottle, and I ended up taking one home and thought it was absolutely terrible. I mean, I wouldn't pay $5 for it. I think it's nasty. And really, with me, I can appreciate a lot of different whiskeys for what they are. But a lot of the newer distilleries or people that are coming out with things are putting out items that are way too young at way too high of a price point.
Yeah.
I can definitely appreciate a 2-year whiskey, bourbon, whatever. But it's got to be worth the money, and I have to know what I'm getting going into it. So I don't know that I could name 5 just kind of right off the top of my head. I'm kind of looking around at my whiskey just to see if any pop out. But I mean, here's one that I would say isn't worth the money, and we talked about it earlier. It's the Small Batch Select.
Yeah.
As you can see, I've gone through a chunk of this bottle, and every time I hate it. I think it's I do not like it, and I love Four Roses. It's just, and I have multiple bottles back here for no good reason, just because I thought I would like it, and I don't.
Yeah.
But it sells. And I don't know if it's selling because people actually like it or because it's something new from Four Roses.
Yeah. Well, guys, do you guys have any other questions for Ryan?
Would you eat the moon if it were made of ribs?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I don't think we've got any reason to. We're not giving ratings. If you want the ratings, go back to episode 1 or 13. But again, in a blind tasting, Wild Turkey 101
swept.
It slapped Fighting Cock around. It slapped the cock.
But that's not to say that any of us would pass on Fighting Cock either.
No, that's true.
Yeah, so I you know what? That's a really good point, Stephen. So I have recommended Fighting Cock to people before, and they almost laugh. They almost think I'm joking, and I'm like, no, Fighting Cock is a really good bourbon. It's got a good flavor profile. I think you'll like it. So don't laugh about Fighting Cock. It's a damn good bourbon. It's got some great flavor to it. Let's be honest.
There's one thing we've done all episode long, it's praise Heaven Hill products.
Yeah,
that's true.
So and say that they don't get enough love. So we can't just say that Fighting Cock is not worth it. It definitely is.
Yeah, it's for sure worth it. Heaven Hill puts out some amazing products, really good products. So thanks for listening, Ryan. Again, a big round of applause for putting up with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Hope you had fun. And
I did. Yeah.
Good.
Be sure to stop into Dean's. It's the oldest liquor store in the United States.
In the world,
actually,
in the world.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
in the world. I forgot what's back. It's a lot of
Perfect.
notes. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
It was started by Quahog Indians
Yeah.
back long time ago. So it predates European liquor stores.
Yeah, this is your story. Keep going.
Another bourbon show. Another bourbon show.
And Luxardo cherries.
He's not
Southern.
sour
So-
about it though. Don't worry about
So any well, you want to know why I'm sour about it, Ryan? Is because I won a VIP ticket to Whiskey Fest last year
If I
because
hear
I
about
sold the
this
most
one
MTI
more
too.
time-
Seriously.
And then they leave for Southern, and then COVID hits, and I'm like, well, I need to get this fucking ticket. This is bullshit. Took $1,000 ticket.
Now let me
So,
explain
yeah.
something.
Is it really?
to our-
I'll weasel
Let me-
my way in. Oh, so I think it's
What's that?
it costs $750. It cost. So people will
Yeah.
turn it for even more money.
Wow.
Were you
Let me
were you
explain
going
something real
to
quick to our viewers.
The Chicago one.
Nothing bad has ever happened to Ryan before. That's what I was trying.
Namoff, you're probably going to get an invite because of our show, right? Like why would they not? If it's the who's who of
Oh,
the whiskey
dude,
bourbon world, why would we not get invited?
I can't stop the phone calls, dude. Yeah, it's
Well-
insane.
Like, I probably got 5 emails asking us to do a live episode at Whiskey Fest. So
Elijah Craig called me, the actual guy.